Hey everybody, welcome back to another chat with Rachel. This is chat number 3 for our public speaking masterclass. We had our intro video talking to you about the triad of public speaking: state, audience, content. We had our second video about state, and this is our third video where we're going to talk about our audience. Now, this one is so important. Don't miss this one, because this is the information that will transform how you present and what your audience gets out of it. I mean, once you've mastered being confident and walking in there and taking ownership of the energy in the room, the next thing is know that audience. I know it sounds cliche, but you need to know that audience. What do they want? What do they need? What are they here for? Are they here because they're at their daughter's wedding? Are they here because they're forced to be here by HR? It's a mandatory whatever training. Are they here because someone passed away and it's a funeral? What's the purpose of this speech for the audience? Why are they going to listen to you today? Your audience has one, everybody has this, precious resource. And that precious resource is their time. And you are taking their time by presenting to them. You need to give more than you take. That 15 minutes that you speak in front of everybody, you've got 100 people in the room, you've taken 15 minutes from each and every one of them. Make sure you're giving back even more. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples. One from my own life. I work at a law firm. Very fortunate. It's a big law firm, and one of the great things they do is they provide a zillion trainings on every single practice area of law that we do, which is a lot. We do a ton. And these trainings, they're typically on WebEx or Zoom. The reason for that is we have offices all throughout the country, all throughout the world. So we have these recorded, usually WebEx or Zoom trainings. And they vary. They really vary. They can be, incredible trainings. It's like professionally done. Just so perfect. And there are other trainings, also professional, I will give them that. But oh my gosh, I don't even remember what it was about. They're so dull, boring. The only thing I know is the person who spoke on that video seems very knowledgeable. Good for you. I don't remember who they are. I don't remember what practice group they're in. They just seem like, yeah, they know their stuff. What's the difference? The main difference. They're all using Zoom or WebEx. They're all using PowerPoint. They're all sifting through a million slides. They all have topics that have been given to them to present on. This is not just something they chose on their own. They're all practicing lawyers within the area that they're describing to us. So what's the difference between that dull video and the one that's incredible that I would watch again just for fun? The difference is the audience. Do they know their audience? And the one that's amazing, they know their audience. They know they're doing this training to teach the people who are listening about the material. They know that this isn't my practice area, that I'm going to need some storyline or information to build off of in order to understand the nuances of what they're doing. I'm going to need more context. They know that if they just give me a PowerPoint with words on it, I'm going to fall asleep. They also know that if they give me a really interesting storyline or something that's come up in the news that relates to what we do, that I am immediately going to be perked up and interested in listening to what they have to say. They know that. And that's how they present. They present with that knowledge in mind. They craft their entire speech based off of what the audience needs and once. They're taking up an hour of my time to teach me something, and they respect that time by giving me a great presentation that I learned from, because this is a training they're supposed to teach. Versus over here, our boring, dull training. Very knowledgeable associate, very knowledgeable. Don't know who they are, don't know what they talked about. They seem knowledgeable. Who are they presenting to? They're presenting to the partners they want to impress. They're showing the people they work for that they know a lot. I know a lot. Let me tell you 45 bullet points of everything I know. I know a lot. Guys, I know a lot. Let me keep going. I know a lot. I know a lot. I know a lot. Oh, guess what? I know a lot. Meanwhile, your audience has fallen asleep. They don't care. They want to care because, we're all learners. That's what we do at our law firm. We learn. But we still fall asleep because we don't care how much the speaker knows. That doesn't matter. This isn't a knowledge contest. This is a training. Your audience is here and giving you their precious time in order to be trained, to teach. You need your audience to learn. How do we get them into the learning mindset? How can we feed them information? So you need to know that audience. Why are they here? What do they want? What do they need? I promise you, your audience is not here for the public speaker. If you're at a wedding and you're the best man or woman and you're giving your toast, a little 5-minute speech, maybe a little bit longer, depends on how many drinks you had. Who is really paying attention to you? I promise you, every person there, they showed up for the bride and groom. They didn't show up to listen to your speech. Now, you want to give a great speech that honors them because this is 5 or 10 minutes out of this important day. You want to make sure that you're honoring the bride and groom, honoring their families. But no one is there for you. They're there for the message you're delivering. They're there for how you make them feel. It's not a knowledge contest of I've known the bride since I was 5 years old. Let me tell you every story. It's let me tell you the one story that really tells you who this amazing woman is today and tells you a little bit about her heart and why she's getting married and how this all came about. You're selling an emotion. It's an emotion that you're giving your audience because this is about the audience. It's not about you, the presenter. It's not about your knowledge. It's not a knowledge contest. All right, number 2 for your audience here. Talk to the audience. You can look them in the eyes. Don't, some people say, look at the back of the room and find a spot to stare at. Okay, we've all seen people do that, and it looks like the public speaker is a zombie. Don't do that. It doesn't help. Look at individuals. If you're a little nervous, and you've practiced your stance, but you're still a little nervous, look at someone who seems like a friendly face, who seems nice. Maybe don't look at the person you have a crush on. Look somewhere else. The crush, you're going to be more nervous. Just someone who looks like they have a friendly face, and look at them. You can look at somebody who's not looking at you, and they're never going to know you were looking at them, but the other members of the audience will see that you're engaging. They were writing on their notepad. They might look up and catch you glancing at them. Don't stare at anybody for too long. You don't want to be a little weird, but you can engage them by looking them in the eyes. The other way to engage them is to set a standard from the beginning. It's cheesy, I know. You walk into a room. Good morning, everybody. Silence. Good morning. I said good morning. Good morning. You can do better than that. I said good morning. Good morning, Rachel. All right, guys. Thank you. It's cheesy. It's not the only way to do it to engage your audience, but what doing that does is it brings your audience to the present. It brings your audience to the present instead of thinking about the fact that they forgot to pack their child's lunch and now they're going to have to go to the cafeteria. It gets them into the present instead of thinking about the email that they're going to have to send later. They're thinking about what's going on now. You're maximizing their time by making sure they're fully engaged because you have such extraordinary content to give to them. It's been crafted for them. This is not a speech for you. This is a speech for what you can do for your audience because it'll meet their needs, their wants, because this is why they showed up today and agreed to sit down and watch you speak. Another way to engage your audience is to use gestures and ask that they use gestures. Ask that they use their voice. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to ask that you all engage with me. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you agree, I want you to put your hand up and say, I. Who in the room has been a little nervous when they went up to public speak? Just a little nervous. Say I. I. Hey, seems like quite a few of you. How many of you think this is a skill that you might want to master? Because it could be useful to you someday. I. Who has seen someone give the most atrocious speech at a wedding? They had too much to drink. It went on too long. Who has seen someone give the most atrocious speech at a wedding? Say I. I. You're getting your audience to engage. What is amazing about doing this is it creates a present moment where your audience is physically putting themselves in a position where they are more receptive to information. Just like you built up your confidence by standing tall. This was video 2, I believe. Here, you're having your audience move and use their voice. You could even say, write this down. This is the most important thing I'm going to say during any of these videos. You need to give more to your audience than your audience gives to you. Write that down. Write it down in your notebook. Everybody, hello. This is a key point. Write it down. You're having them engaged. You're having them do more than just sit and look like zombies. This is the reason people tell jokes, so that they can get their audience a little bit emotionally involved, so that they can have more than just people sitting there. You know what they're going to do if they're bored? On their phones. Texting or emailing away. This gets them engaged. And why is this important? Because you need to give as much to this audience as you can. If you give a great speech, but they're not paying attention or they're not in a position to receive that information, it doesn't matter. Using gestures, making eye contact, having everybody use their voice, it makes the time they're spending with you all the more valuable to the audience. It matters. It makes a difference. All right, next up, we already discussed this a little bit, but you are responsible for the energy level of your audience. That's your responsibility. It's not like when you were in school and you were sitting at your desk and it was your job to pay attention. Nope. When you're the teacher standing up there, it's your job to keep everybody engaged. One way to do that is to fluctuate your energy. Fluctuate it. Sometimes you're going to be jumping up and down and moving and using your full body. Sometimes you need to get softer and closer in order to make a point. Change your tone. Change the speed in which you're talking. Punctuate a word. Tell your audience what they should expect. If this is a marathon and we're going to be doing this for 4 hours, let your audience know. so that they can figure out where the mile marks are. Where's the mile mark? Where are we making progress so that they can keep their energy in line with what they need to gain as much from this speech? If this is 5 minutes long, make it a little shorter. Here's an example. This masterclass is really about 3 things. It's the triad of public speaking. State, audience, content. Done. Now you know. Right now we're talking about audience. We're talking about how important it is to know them. Give everybody a flag post so that they know this is where we are, so that they can keep track of this information. You want this to be receptive and easy and something they're engaging with. That's why audience is at the base, actually. I thought a lot about this. Without knowing your audience, what do you know? Why are you even there? This is what creates the framework for our next video, which is about the content that you are going to convey. You need to know that audience first. Before that, you need to have control of your own state and take responsibility of the state of your audience as well. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Really excited. It's our last one in this series. And with this, you will be ready to public speak, whether that's at work, whether you're given that toast, whether you're running for a political campaign, you will be ready to public speak. Talk to y'all soon.